What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday evening to everyone. Hopefully everyone is staying safe and healthy, and it is time for the June edition of Staffing Shortages. Just yesterday, the May jobs report came out for the United States, and the jobs report says U.S. economy adds 339,000 jobs in May, crushing expectations. However, if you've seen one of these videos before, you will know that is not always the case. In fact, there are a lot of places with help wanted signs that need help. There's a lot of industries. If you saw the previous video, you will know that down in Maryland, there were multiple thousands short staffed at the correctional facilities. Whoa, that's not good. And, healthcare needs help. Whole bunch of different industries. Well, let's see who still needs help this month. And mind you, I only did some. I didn't get all of them. We're going to miss some. There have been a ton since our last update. So, while that 339,000 number sounds good, just give me 10 minutes. 10 minutes of your time. And I can prove to you that there is still a lot of help wanted out there. And some of it is relatively in critical conditions, such as, healthcare, emergency services. Let's go through these. For many of them, we're just going to read a headline, because that will pretty much serve the purpose. But when doable, I will tell you the location of what they are referring to. Starting off here, there is a lifeguard shortage nationally here across the country, and that is continuing. And going on to the next one, this is again lifeguards. City of Austin offering bonuses to help lifeguards staffing shortage. Lifeguards can receive a $250 bonus for 200 hours of work. Whoopee. $250 bonus for 200 hours of work. I get it. It's a bonus, but again, that's 200 hours work. So, moving on to the next one. Air controller staffing shortages add to potential travel delays as summer season starts. Whoa, this is not good. And just recently, the airline stated, we're prepared. We're not going to have the same issues as last summer. Well, here you go. It's already starting off with air controlling issues. And it says airline travelers expected to exceed pre-pandemic levels this weekend in Denver. This weekend meaning they're referring to last weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So it's best to plan ahead for multiple reasons, and one of them is apparently Denver's airport is still seeing air traffic controller issues. Moving on to this. Providers look to AI to solve staffing shortages. And yes, that AI, that does mean computers. Senior Living has experienced staffing shortages recently and is embracing artificial intelligence as a way to help solve them. AI is being cited as one of the keys to helping with healthcare continued staffing shortages. A report by a consulting company. Wow, unbelievable. So, you're in a nursing home and now you're going to have artificial intelligence helping you out. Radiational oncologists report troubling staff shortages. And looks like this is in Worcester, Massachusetts. So, if you're having cancer issues, yes, there's a staffing shortage in Worcester, Massachusetts at this time. So, that's not good. And continuing on with this. In Pleasantation, PD temporarily disbands 3 units, reassigns officers amid staffing shortages. So, this is not good. They're disbanding 3 units. That's 3 less units out on the job trying to keep you safe because, why? There's a staffing shortage. Moving on to this. Iowa nursing homes continue to lack enough workers. So there's a staffing shortage at nursing homes in Iowa. That's not good. Here and now to this. Advanced imaging shows promise for addressing radiology staff shortages. Okay, so it sounds like here, May 30th, 2023, hospital staffing shortages are a real problem. In fact, last March, the American Hospital Association submitted a letter to the U.S. House of Representatives, Energy, and Commerce Committee that deemed them a national emergency. So hospital staffing shortages are a national emergency. But hey, remember folks, the jobs numbers, it exceeded expectations. Yes, and we're not even halfway through this. Now we move on to Colorado. 2 Loveland bus routes cut back due to staffing shortages. So If you were waiting for a special bus route, maybe it's a bus route you rely on to get, to the grocery store or to the senior center or something. Well, those two bus routes, they're not running right now because of staffing shortages. Moving on to our next story. It's a fire service issue nationwide. Staffing shortages hit Hampton Roads military firefighters over Memorial Day weekend. The union's president says it takes more than 100 people per day across the region to properly staff the fire and rescue departments across the military installation. And it sounds like they are really short on workers. We have a 48-hour on, 48-hour off, 144-hour pay period. So every 2 weeks we work 144 hours, 72 hours a week is what it's supposed to be. Welsh is the president of the Tidal Water Federal Firefighters, Local F25, a union representing more than 300 firefighters. And it says here they are 66 firefighters short. That means they are working with 66 people on their normal off day. They're working 24 hours of overtime on days they're supposed to be home with their families. Wow, that's just really bad. And taking a look at this one, Denton County, I believe this is up in Wyoming. Denton County's driver's license department closed due to a staffing shortage. Moving on to this one. Kansas City's 911 call takers, dispatchers, working 10 to 12-hour days due to staffing shortages. Moving on to this. This is not good. ER closures due to staffing shortages. Hour cuts increase concerns for summer. Recent staffing shortages and hour cuts are raising alarm bells for families across not just Ontario, but the entire nation. This is referring to Canada, as emergency rooms continue to close and summer creeps up. This is not good, and as you know, emergency rooms up in Canada are extremely busy. EMTs struggle with staffing shortages. Rural EMTs are feeling the strain of the shortages. And this is out of CBS Dallas. Moving on to our next story here. Legal considerations when addressing healthcare staffing shortages. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, we've seen significant numbers of healthcare workers leave the industry. These departures have left hospitals and healthcare systems asking how they can continue to serve patient populations while maintaining compliance with state and federal healthcare regulations and remaining financially solvent. Yes, this is a real problem. And you have healthcare workers that are testing positive for COVID. Some of them are getting long COVID. Some of them are getting infected multiple times. Plus, you have waves and waves of COVID. And with that, it's just a tremendous strain on healthcare that continues like a merry-go-round again and again and again. Therefore, it affects their mental health. So many of them are choosing, you know what, I just can't deal with this anymore. So a lot of them are leaving the healthcare industry. Moving on to this, nursing staffing shortages linked to a 10% jump in resident deaths. So this is a really bad headline. 10% jump in resident deaths because of nursing staffing shortages. That's just absolutely horrible. Staffing shortages in law enforcement. And this is in Wisconsin, in Clare, Wisconsin. EAU Clare. This week is National Police Week, a time to honor fallen members of law enforcement. It also serves as a reminder of the dangers of the jobs in law enforcement and industry facing a shortage of applicants. And this is something that's happening all across the country. I mean, it's a really hard job to do. It's not an easy job whatsoever. So we've seen many different industries. We've seen the healthcare industry. We've seen law enforcement. We've seen dispatchers. We've seen lifeguards. We've seen the airline industries, air traffic controllers. We've seen many different industries here in this video where there is still a staffing shortage. And then we come back to this. The U.S. economy adds 339,000 jobs in May, crushing expectations. That's fantastic, but you know what? There is still a lot of help needed out there, and I'm sure you've seen help wanted signs. I see them at pizza shops, restaurants. I mean, people ask all the time, do you know anyone who's looking for work? We need help. Yeah, the jobs report, that may be nice and all, but doesn't tell the real side of the story. Alrighty, that does it for the monthly staffing shortage video. We'll have another one again next month with, I'm sure there will be a ton more staffing shortages to report on. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great evening.